Well, it's not looking good for Blake Lively right now, as a recent video resurfaced about her saying in an actual interview that she sometimes acted as her own intimacy coordinator, and she does not recommend that for anybody. She actually said on tape,
"You should not be the intimacy coordinator. You should definitely hire intimacy coordinators," which we did have. Well, thank goodness.
Blake Lively accuses Justin Baldoni of weight shaming her on the set of It Ends With Us.
I don't recommend that, it's not advisable that you act as your own intimacy coordinator.
The role of intimacy coordination, but when I think of my involvement in the film, I don't really see that, the thing that I did.
And then another video where it shows Blake Lively herself showing Justin Baldoni on camera how to pull her in a sexy way.
Thank goodness.
You were teaching Justin how to pull you in.
Where have you seen this?
That clip?
I actually just saw it too.
Like the way that she wanted to showcase, probably lust or romance or whatever it was, which is not good for her claim that Justin Baldoni acted in the absence of intimacy coordinators. She actually admitted that she sometimes served as her own intimacy coordinator, which kind of leads to the fact that she was comfortable with that. The second thing is that it's showing evidence that she was actually teaching Justin how he should hold her. So there's a lot of he said, she said. Who knows when and where their relationship sort of fizzled out. And I'm not saying that there were maybe instances caught off camera where Justin might have behaved inappropriately, where her grievances are actually true, yet it's hard to stand by what Blake Lively is saying when part of her complaint is something that she fed into and she did herself. So the resurfaced interview shows Blake Lively addressing her actual role in coordinating these intimate scenes, and it's fueling a lot of online backlash from netizens, and again, her reputation here is at stake. She accused her co-star and director Justin Baldoni of unwanted advances and improvising physical scenes without an intimacy coordinator. So, okay, but you acted as one, hence he might have felt comfortable, or maybe he got the mixed signals that it was okay to improvise and to, do things in the absence of a intimacy coordinator because you acted as one at times. There's that resurfaced interview, which, by the way, is not looking good for her. The team of It Ends With Us, which included Colleen Hoover, Blake Lively, and Brandon Sklenar, sat down for an interview with Access Hollywood. We'll play that clip. And as the conversation shifted to the actress's romance with the leading actors, the interviewer pointed out how Lively was sometimes the intimacy coordinator herself. Now, in her complaints that she filed against Justin, it had a lot to do with Justin's unwanted advances towards her, as well as the lack of involvement from intimacy coordinators. However, she did admit that there were intimacy coordinators on set and on site. Now, whether or not they were present the entire time, whether or not she chose to follow the intimacy coordinators' directions, is something that is not going to bode well for her in her case, because it's saying right there, I sometimes acted as the intimacy coordinator and we probably shouldn't do that. So I don't know how that's going to hold up. The interviewer said, talk to me about how sometimes you were even the intimacy coordinator in some of those sexier scenes. And this is when she laughed and said, that shouldn't be happening, by the way. I just want to be clear that you should not be the intimacy coordinator. You should definitely have intimacy coordinators, which we did have. So I gather that I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a judge. I gather that by her saying that, I don't know if she can submit that complaint or if that's going to be valid, because she did what she wasn't supposed to do. Now, Centerview reposted this and showed about how she nervously, laughed it off. And she couldn't forecast in the future that she was going to use this against Justin Baldoni. But for the Baldoni team, this is probably a big win, and it's not making Blake look good. The interviewer also brought up behind the scenes clip, which showed Lively again teaching Baldoni how to pull her in. And she's literally like, she's full up in his guts, right? They're face to face. It's romantic. I've watched the movie, okay? The chemistry between these two and the scenes. I mean, I've seen, I call it PG-13. I mean, it's not 9.5 weeks. It is an indecent proposal. Their scenes were not steamy to me. I mean, compared to what other steamy scenes are like. So the complaint she had was during one of their kissing scenes, he began to bite her lip, suck on her lip, asked to do it over and over again. It wasn't right. And so for her, she's feeling like, okay, this is unnecessary. We don't need to rehearse this like a million times. This is getting like, for her, she felt like he just wanted to continue to film and continue to do it because maybe he was getting pleasure out of it. That is what it sounds like it is. And maybe she felt uncomfortable with that. But who knows? Everybody's on everybody's watching. The entire, camera crew and cast is watching. So the fact that he is, doing all of those things, everyone else is around and witnessing that. So it's possible that she might have felt those things after the trouble, and then maybe in her own mind it escalated and then she felt violated. I don't know. It is her complaint. She has the right to feel the way she feels. However, Justin is trying to defend his actions, saying everything he did, he acted, for the best interest of the film. It was not to do with her. Here are what some people have to say. I hope his attorneys caught that there is video evidence. She thinks we're blind and we're not. Insufferable, someone says. I really don't like her. Another one, even her body language makes her seem entitled and stuck up. So, not very good. Needless to say, the Lively versus Baldoni, drama has got people picking sides and the he said, she said. So who knows how this is going to unfold. Now, what are the details inside Lively's lawsuit? It says that when she filed the federal lawsuit against Baldoni, she accused him of sexual harassment and conducting a smear campaign against her, and that he improvised a lot of physical intimacy on the set. You have to watch this movie. Again, I personally am not seeing any love scenes or things that are out of character or that seem like, oh my God, this is hot and steamy. And I mean, did it show that they had good chemistry? Yes. I'm not in her shoes, so I don't know how she felt. It looked like good chemistry, but in no way, shape, or form did I see any nudity. Even when she had to deliver her baby in the nude, like her legs are up. There's nothing private that you can actually see. And his face was, where his face was. I mean, I'm sure she covered her private parts because no one else could see them, right? But she complained that that's what he insisted. But, I've given birth 4 times. When you're giving birth, you're naked, okay? Not maybe naked the whole way around. You have a gown, but your gown is wide open. So if you're trying to deliver and portray a real live giving birth scene, that would be appropriate. I don't think that that's adding extra or that he necessarily wanted to see her naked. But again, if you have that narrative and you feel that way about somebody, anything and everything that he does, you're going to pick apart and you're going to make it, that's the story that you believe in your mind. Okay, so she has the right to complain. Whether or not a judge or a jury or people are going to believe her is another thing. Now, the lawsuit also reads that Mr. Baldoni improvised physical intimacy that had not been rehearsed, choreographed, or discussed with Miss Lively and with no intimacy coordinator involved. Enough said. You can't complain about a situation. Well, you can, but it's going to be hard to defend when you yourself acted as intimacy coordinator and it was okay in one instance, and why is it not okay in another instance? It's kind of like you're shooting yourself in the foot. I feel bad for her if really any of these things are true, but everyone else isn't really buying it. And this is part of the reason why Baldoni himself filed a lawsuit, not even against Blake Lively. They filed a $100 million lawsuit against the New York Times, which clearly was biased to Blake Lively's narrative and omitted any and everything that would have poked a hole in her story or had anybody doubt that what they wanted to share and portray Baldoni as was anything other than what she claimed, which cost him his, removal from his agency. That's a big impact, okay? And so I don't know what he's gonna get and what the New York Times has to say, but it's kind of like if you're gonna publish an article, I don't know what the journalistic responsibility is, but they told that story and now a new story is being told. So let's see what happens. What do you guys think about this Justin and, Lively situation? Who do you believe? Are you team Baldoni or are you team Lively? We'd love to know in the comments below.